Hello, my name is Pooja. Welcome to the Sunday special episode of Around the World. We come up with this program every Wednesday, Friday, and Sunday. In this special program, we talk about the news which enhances your understanding of global politics. We will discuss one such news in today's story. An instance of how China is trying to bypass India in the Indian Ocean region was recently seen in one of the diplomatic tricks. Actually, a few days ago, China organized a meeting of the China-Indian Ocean Regional Forum. 19 countries participated in this meeting held in Kunming, Yunnan province of China. All the neighboring countries of India, including Pakistan, Afghanistan, and Nepal, participated in the meeting, but it is being claimed that India was not even invited to this meeting. Hence, this forum has been embroiled in controversies in its initial phase itself. It is believed that China is trying to increase its influence in the Indian Ocean region and the Indo-Pacific with its strategy. It is being said that China is playing diplomatic tricks in the Indian Ocean with the help of development diplomacy. On the other hand, Canada has also opened a front against China. Canada has called India its ally to reduce Chinese influence in the Indo-Pacific. The sudden increase in politics in the Indo-Pacific has increased activism in the region. Why India was not invited to this meeting is an important question, but the more important question is whether any concept of shared development can be fulfilled in the Indian Ocean region without India. We will also talk about the interests of Canada in the Indo-Pacific. First of all, let us know what China wants to achieve through the China-Indian Ocean Regional Forum. Actually, China considers itself a major player in the Indian Ocean. It is being said that China is developing a big navy that will come out of China and move towards the Indian Ocean as China's most important supplies pass through this route. Therefore, China wants to register its military presence in this region. The Indian Ocean is also a region of the Indo-Pacific, so China wants to intensify its diplomacy in the Indian Ocean through this meeting. China is resorting to development diplomacy to increase its influence in this region. China has proposed to establish maritime disaster prevention and cooperation mechanism between itself and other countries in the Indian Ocean region. China has also offered to provide necessary financial and technical assistance to needy countries. China has already caught Sri Lanka and Pakistan in its debt trap. Actually, China is striving for influence in the strategic Indian Ocean region with substantial investments in ports and infrastructure in several countries. In last Wednesday's episode, we informed you that China is rapidly increasing its naval presence in the North Indian Ocean. China has already made substantial investments in ports and infrastructure in several countries including Pakistan and Sri Lanka. China has constructed a port in Pakistan's Gwadar in the Arabian Sea and made infrastructure investment in the Maldives. China has also taken Sri Lanka's Hambantota port on a 99-year lease. As far as the Indian Ocean is concerned, it is an important region for India from a strategic point of view. As we have already mentioned that it is a part of the Indo-Pacific. Therefore, China is trying to reduce India's influence in this region. Secondly, the Indian Ocean plays a pivotal role in the international supply chain. China's import needs are also met through this route. Therefore, China is trying to increase its influence along the route of this supply chain, which is a matter of concern for India. Hence, China is not giving much importance to India in the organizations in its leading. Reducing India's influence in this region is China's priority. Hence, China does not intend to give too much attention to India in the China-Indian Ocean Regional Forum. However, China is ignoring the fact that no concept of shared development in the Indian Ocean region can be complete without India. India is an important country in the Indian Ocean. Therefore, taking any step by sidelining India will intensify the conflict between the two countries. Now another pertinent question arises, why has Canada opened a front against China? What are Canada's interests in the Indo-Pacific region? Actually, trade is carried out on a large scale through the Indian Ocean. China and India are major markets for Canadian goods and Canada also trades through this route. However, Canada intends to reduce its dependence on the Chinese market. Canada is eyeing India's growing middle class and the Indian market. Therefore, Canada intends to invest in the Indo-Pacific. Now, another significant question arises: why does Canada want to distance itself from China? Actually, Canada is looking for a new alliance because of bad relations with China. China-Canada relations have declined in the recent years. There has been tension between the two countries due to trade disputes and case of espionage allegations. Furthermore, China has also been accused of undermining Canadian democracy. The extent of bad relations between the two countries was witnessed during the G20 summit held in Bali. In this meeting, a tussle took place between Chinese President Xi Jinping and Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau over making the meeting's agenda public. This incident went viral. Notably, the Indo-Pacific is Canada's second largest export market after the US. Therefore, Canada does not want China to dominate this region. Like Europe and the US, Canada also considers India as a major player in the Indo-Pacific to prevent China from dominating the region. Canada views India as a reliable partner because both the countries are democracies and share common values. Canada considers India an important partner in the Indo-Pacific in view of India's growing strategic and economic importance as well as India's growing population. Canada believes that the scope of India's strategic importance and leadership will increase in this region and other regions of the world as well. It is a well-known fact that India already operates an organization called the Indian Ocean Rim Association. 23 countries are members of this organization. Furthermore, Quad Group of India, the US, Australia and Japan is also engaged in increasing its strength in the Indo-Pacific. In such a scenario, the Indo-Pacific is soon going to become an arena of diplomatic maneuvering due to the efforts made by Canada and other European countries to register their presence in the region. Now we come to the next segment of the Sunday special episode of Around the World. In this segment, we will talk about other significant international news. Last week, the European Parliament passed a resolution to declare Russia a state sponsor of terrorism. 494 members of the European Parliament voted in support of the resolution, while 58 members voted against the resolution, and 44 MPs remained absent from voting. The basis of this resolution was deliberate attacks and atrocities committed by Russia in Ukraine, which violates human rights and international humanitarian laws. However, the European Parliament's move is largely symbolic as the European Union does not have a legal framework to implement this decision. After China, Qatar signed an agreement with Germany to provide LNG, that is, liquefied natural gas. For this purpose, Qatar Energy and ConocoPhillips have signed 2 sales and purchase agreements to export LNG to Germany. Under the agreement, Germany will be provided with 2 million tons of LNG annually for at least 15 years from 2026. It is the first supply agreement for supplying LNG to Europe from Qatar's North Field expansion project. Under this agreement, LNG will be transported from Ras Laffan, Qatar to the northern LNG terminal of Brunsbüttel, Germany. Before the Russia-Ukraine war, Germany used to import about half of its total LNG needs from Russia, but Germany has not received any LNG supply from Russia since August 2022. Amid the Russia-Ukraine war, a 2-day meeting of NATO was held last week in Bucharest, the capital of Romania, an Eastern European country. At the beginning of the meeting, NATO Secretary General Jens Stoltenberg stated that Ukraine will definitely become a NATO member in the near future. However, he also stated that for the time being, the greater focus should be on preparing Ukraine's army and supplying aid to them for surviving in winter. Ukraine has been facing Russian attacks since February 2022, and the same is being continuously opposed by NATO and Western countries. China's army has claimed that it drove away a United States naval ship that illegally entered the Spratly Islands in the disputed South China Sea. China claims almost the entire South China Sea under a 9-dash line. However, in 2016, the International Court of Justice rejected the Chinese claim as baseless in one of the decisions. However, China refused to accept the ICJ's decision and began building artificial islands and expanding military activities in the sea. Notably, the Philippines, Malaysia, Vietnam, Brunei and Taiwan also lay claim to the South China Sea. In recent years, China has increasingly adopted an assertive strategy to defend its claims in the disputed South China Sea. That's all in this episode. Let us note down the question based on today's story. What is China's plan under the China-Indian Ocean Regional Forum? How will it present a strategic challenge to India in the Indian Ocean?